Michelle from Way to Sun. I am wearing my bell ears and my bell top because I am doing my review of Beauty and the Beast. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm really upset that I had to wait till today, which is 2 days after I have seen the video or the movie, to do my review. But just extremely busy that night and yesterday. And yeah, guys, if you have not gone to see this movie and if you do not have plans to go see this movie, change your plans. Go see it. Oh my gosh. I am not generally one for remakes and redos. And I loved the Cinderella remake. I was actually, you know, like, I loved it enough that we own it on DVD. But generally, I'm not super pumped about those. You guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I had to write down notes because I wasn't even sure where I wanted to start when I was talking about this. I'm going to start with the cast. Amazing, amazing, amazing cast. They spot on. Oh my gosh. So the first one I want to talk about, and the one that I'm not going to lie, it surprised me because I'm not a Harry Potter fan, number one. And so I don't know a lot of her other works. I don't know what else she's done. Miss Emma Watson as Belle. Wow. And I actually spoke to a person about a month ago, and he was all stoked about it being Belle. I had reservations. I was like, well, I'm holding my opinion until I see the movie because, sorry, I'm not used to wearing ears, guys, because I don't want to try this again. My camera just stopped, but I'm going to continue on from where I was. But I hadn't seen a ton of her other work, so I didn't want to form an opinion about her, and I have to say, spot on, fantastic. I loved her performance. The next one I want to talk about, and this person, I honestly don't know what else they have done. I should have maybe Googled it a little bit, but again, I wanted to go into this movie not having preconceived thoughts on those actors because I tend to do that a lot. And I really just wanted to go in and just see this movie and see these people in that part and not place them anywhere else. And I know that might be kind of silly, but for me, I'm really glad I did because, yeah, it worked out beautifully. Sorry, my light seems to have moved. But Dan Stevens as the Beast. If I look down, guys, it's because I'm looking at my notes. He was amazing. Again, I don't have a clue what else he's done. I can say that I'm going to talk about him again here in a minute, and his performance was just awesome. And I don't know while filming how much of his performance was done in a costume and how much of it was done with CG. I know a lot of it was because the face and the mask, not the mask, but the whole facial expressions and, the way they had him moving, that was not a mask. So I'm going to love finding out how much of his performance was CG and how much was his, actually interacting with Emma. But his performance of the song Evermore, wow. I can't wait to buy the soundtrack. It'll be one that I've already got Moana worn out almost. I'll have this one worn out too. The next one I'm going to talk about, I'm excited to talk about, is Luke Evans as Gaston. Yes! Oh my gosh, that was so perfect. He enveloped Gaston. He completely and totally made Gaston this unlikable and likable guy at the same time. Gaston is just one of those characters that you love to not love. And I won't use the hate word in here because it's not my style. But he really is somebody that you just kind of want to just do a whole wake up, dude. Really? How can you be so self-absorbed? But at the same time, he was so funny and so lovable. He did amazing. The next one I'm going to talk about, and when you talk about Gaston, of course, you have to talk about LeFou. Josh Gad as LeFou. I will say I'm really happy I didn't know he was in this movie, because it really would have affected my opinion on going to see this movie. I'm not a huge Josh Gad fan in general. I really liked his performance in this movie. He did great as LeFou. His comic ire in it is just, he was funny. He was so funny, and it was really nice to see him not do the same thing. I've seen him in a few other things, and I've always been like, dude, do you ever do any, like, do you ever come out of that little box that you've got yourself in? Because I feel like you do the same exact character over and over again. So he blew my mind in this movie. I truly love his performance in this movie. Thank you, Josh. Mrs. Potts, Emma Thompson. I have loved her forever. She just rocked it. She completely enveloped Mrs. Potts. She redesigned the character a little bit, but didn't take her so far away from the original. You know, Angela Lansbury is a class act. The original Mrs. Potts and her song are always going to be Mrs. Potts, but Emma completely resold Mrs. Potts and just made you love her even more. And you really liked hearing a new change on Mrs. Potts, and she didn't disrespect Angela in the process. I loved it. I keep saying that, and I'm sorry, you guys, but it is just the truth. This movie was just, I walked out of there with the biggest smile on my face, and just the biggest, and I kept talking, and we were walking down the ramp, and I realized there was like a crowd of people outside, and I was like, I've got to stop talking. I don't want to do any spoilers for anybody, but oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this movie. And I kept getting these looks like, this lady's on, you know, something crazy. The last two I'm going to talk about are Lumiere by Ewan McGregor. I had no idea that was Ewan McGregor, you guys, until I saw the credits. I was like, really? Ewan, where'd you go, dude? Spot on. And I'm not going to talk about Cogsworth, and here's why. I really didn't care for that performance. I didn't really care for the way they reworked Cogsworth. Cogsworth was fantastic in the original, and I think they strayed a little too far from that. Oh gosh, I just lost his name and I didn't keep him in my notes. Pause. Okay, I had to look up his name because I had it in my head. His name, I'm going to go ahead and talk about him. Ian McKellen, sorry. He did great. So I don't want to downplay his part. I'm fidgety, I'm sorry. His part in this movie, because he really did do a good job. I just didn't like the way Disney reworked Cogsworth. I felt like they took him a little too far away from the original Cogsworth. I liked the first Cogsworth because I thought he was a stuffy little curmudgeon. He reminded me so much of my grandpa and people I know like him. And it was just kind of, for me personally, a little disheartening the way they changed that a little bit. But Ian did great. So then the last one I'm going to talk about is Kevin Kline. Guys, like I said, I didn't research. I didn't know he was in this. What a blessing in disguise this guy was. Such a great job. He took Maurice, Belle's dad, and I've always liked Maurice. He was a loving dad. Of course he was worried about his daughter and stuff, but I keep losing my natural light over here. Kevin Kline took it to another level. And his performance of Maurice, his interpretation of Maurice was like what every little girl wants for a daddy. He protected her. He truly loved her. He did everything for her. He had convictions about why they were where they were and why he kept her in that small town. It was just awesome. I loved it. So now I'm going to talk about the second biggest thing in this movie. The music! Oh, holy cow, Batman! Okay. The main title theme, which on the soundtrack is performed by Ariana Grande and John Legend. I did know that already going in. I'm not a huge fan of their music in pop life, but in Disney terms, they took that song and remade it into a ultra spectacular Disney song again. Like I said, I'm buying the soundtrack, you guys. And I know I say that I bought Moana and I bought Cinderella. I generally really do not buy CDs or songs or play them on my playlist unless I really like them. I cannot wait to download this one and get it going and buy the CD so I have it in the van. And then my second favorite song in this movie, and you guys might be surprised, is sung by Dan Stevens as the Beast. It's a song called Evermore.
I close my eyes, but she's still there. I let her steal into my melancholy heart.
My Lanta. That song made me, like, it just took you into this deep place in your heart, and it just made you want to take everybody around you that you love and hold them, and it completely made me feel Beast's emotions. It was awesome. Wow, I loved it. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is Mrs. Potts, Emma Thompson, singing The Tale as Old as Time. Again, Emma took it and made it just phenomenal all over again. They did change things up in it a little bit. I don't know if it was just because they redid that in a lot of the movie or what, but it was spot on and fantastic and wonderful and magnificent, and I loved it as well. Okay, now, sets. I kept looking at hubby going, I want the castle. Can I have this castle and Cinderella's castle? Yo, go build me this castle. Loved it. The village, like, the village was exactly how I thought a real village would look, taken from the movie, the animated movie. And it was really nice that they didn't stray from it completely, but they didn't stay at it exactly either. The movie was fantastic. Please go see it. Don't be afraid to take your kids. That was another thing that people were questioning on Instagram. I noticed a lot of questions. Is it safe? Is it okay to take my kids? Do you think it's too scary? We were at a theater. We went to a really early showing. Ours was at 3:50 in the afternoon, thankfully, because when we came out, the next showing was like packed. Like they had people lined up. Thankfully, we went to the 3:50. There were some children there. I would say the youngest one that I saw was about 2, and the oldest one was possibly 9 or 10. I didn't hear any screams of terror. I didn't hear any crying. They all seemed to enjoy it. They were all enraptured by it. There were 3 little girls sitting right in front of us who were like through the whole movie. So I think and the 3 little ones in front of us were approximately 4, 6, and 8. So yeah, I would take Seth to it. I wouldn't take Spencer, but just because he's 1 and won't sit through a movie. But I would take Seth to it and not have any worries whatsoever. So I would have taken my 2 boys with it if they were young enough. I mean, Jaden went, but Michael was at work. So, thought I was going to make it through without a yawn, darn it. So, I wanted to answer that question for you guys real quick, too. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm sorry this went really long. I tried to keep it short, but there was just so much I wanted to make sure I touched on and talked about real quick. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're new, hi, welcome to Way to Sun. To all, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Wow. And thanks everybody for watching. I will see everybody later. Bye.